Chapter 4, Dance of Democracy. If you're reading this book and you've reached this chapter, The Dance of Democracy, then you probably already know what democracy means. But let's strip away the formalities and speak plainly. Democracy means rule by the people. Not by a single person, not by a king or dictator, but by the people. The word comes from ancient Greek, demos meaning the people, and kratos meaning power or rule. But here's something to consider. Democracy may not have started with the Greeks at all. It might be as old as mankind itself. In fact, you can see traces of it in the animal kingdom too. Wolves, for example, follow an alpha, not just the strongest, but often the smartest, the most experienced. And if that leader fails, shows weakness, or leads the pack into danger, he's challenged and replaced. It's not loyalty to one figure, it's loyalty to survival. Even lions have a similar instinct. So maybe the idea of choosing a leader, not by divine right, but by fitness and respect, has always existed. It's built into nature. The Greeks didn't invent democracy, they just gave it shape. The Romans picked it up next. They created senates, assemblies, and republics. But history has shown us something strange. Democracy easily becomes a lie, a banter, a show, a disguise for weakness. The very buildings meant to represent the people, the parliaments and senates, often become theaters for clowns, not leaders. Monarchy, for all its flaws, had clarity. A king sits on the throne. He is the face of the kingdom. If the country fails, he takes the blame. His ministers report to him. His power is visible. His decisions are final. He knows if his kingdom grows weak, so does he. Because without the kingdom, what is a king? But democracy, it's a smoke in the mirror. Power is everywhere and nowhere. Responsibility is blurred. Decisions are made in shadows. If something goes wrong, everyone blames someone else. And that's exactly how the system was designed. So many people, so many ministers, so many horses in this race. In a democracy, when a new law is proposed, it doesn't pass overnight. It goes through layers, debates, committees, votes, a long ritual of performance. And this is the dance of democracy. You see, for every new proposal, every law, it must go through many hands, many rooms, many agendas. And in that long journey, the original purpose can get twisted or hijacked. We don't even know the real intentions behind these proposals. We only see the surface. Something may look good, but beneath it, who benefits? The people? Or the bankers, the capitalists, the corporations? It starts with a white paper, a polite pitch in the circus. Some politicians support it, some oppose it, all acting their parts. Eventually it gets enough votes, moves higher, to another office, to more signatures, to another layer of power. And even then, it might be altered, or delayed, or simply abandoned. And here's the brutal truth. If the horses in the race can be bought, the race can be rigged. Black becomes white. Truth becomes noise. Justice becomes an illusion. I live in this world, I've watched it. And I challenge anyone, any citizen of any so-called democracy, to prove otherwise. Most politicians once elected don't represent their people anymore. The people who voted for them become background noise. Because once they enter the halls of power, it becomes a different world, a bubble, a game. They join the circus. Imagine you're watching a long courtroom trial. Weeks go by. Lawyers argue, witnesses speak, evidence piles up. The judge listens, the jury debates, and in the end, no verdict, just silence, case dismissed. No justice, but everyone gets paid. Everyone shakes hands, and the system moves on. That's democracy today. Or imagine a high-budget movie, big cast, powerful dialogues, beautiful sets, but the plot goes nowhere. The hero dies, the villain escapes, and the audience leaves the cinema confused. Yet the critics still give it 5 stars. That's democracy today. Governments change, parties swap chairs, new names, same script. The illusion of movement but no real progress. just drama without resolution. The same broken system remains. They distract you with irrelevant debates. In countries like the UK, the national conversation is often hijacked by shallow topics. What someone wears, what someone eats, who gets to say what. These aren't matters of governance or policy. They're personal choices turned into public controversies. Instead of tackling poverty, housing, mental health, broken healthcare systems, or rising living costs, they argue over lifestyle preferences. They turn individual freedoms into political headlines. And while the media keeps the spotlight on these distractions, the real issues, the ones that actually affect your life, are ignored. This is not by accident. It's strategy. The longer they keep you emotionally charged about cultural topics, the less energy you have to demand justice, reform, or accountability. They replace serious political dialogue with noise. The circus grows louder, while the system remains untouched. And people don't even realize they're being played. A country that once claimed to have invented modern democracy now ranks among the top clown shows, with politicians more famous for scandal than solutions. Tell me if I am wrong. No nation today is truly solving the real problems: hunger, housing, education, mental health, climate, poverty. These things barely make the agenda, and do you know why? Because they don't want your freedom. They want your attention. They waste your time with noise. They exhaust you with nonsense. Because a distracted population is easier to control. Humanity today is not free. Humanity is enslaved. And unless we start talking about the right things, we'll stay that way. The democracy we have today is no longer sustainable, and it's far from transparent. We need something new, a system that genuinely comes from the people, but isn't corrupted by the noise and chaos of the modern world. Because let's be honest, social media is not a pure place. It's a battlefield of bots, misinformation, and emotional manipulation. With enough clicks and controversy, any fool can become famous. And then we idolize them. That's not democracy, that's theater, that's not leadership, that's popularity dressed up in pixels. Yes, I believe everyone should have the right to vote, but not everyone uses that right with wisdom. There are people who would vote for chaos, for destruction, for the worst possible candidate simply out of hate, ignorance, or thrill. Should such votes carry the same weight as those cast with thought, compassion, and awareness? We have the tools now, technology, algorithms, AI, that could be used not to control the people, but to challenge them. To ask, why are you voting for this person? What values do they represent? What do you stand for? And the same challenge should be applied to the candidates. A businessman, a celebrity, a puppet of corporate interests. These should have no place in public office. A politician should be a public servant, not a brand, not a marketing product, not someone who bought their way onto a stage. Leadership should be earned through sacrifice, service, and a record of actions that speak for the people, not investors. We must abolish these billion-dollar campaigns and make leadership about merit, not money. A government should not be a platform for personal gain. It should be the highest form of responsibility, a place reserved for those who have proven themselves worthy of trust, not those who shout the loudest or spend the most. Right-wing, left-wing, conservatives, Democrats, communists, socialists. These are just labels, man-made, man-abused, and every single one of them has failed in one way or another. The West painted communism and socialism like monsters, something so terrifying you dare not associate yourself with the idea. In America, even suggesting fairness or redistribution gets you branded. What are you, a communist? Like it's a curse word. In other parts of the world, being a liberal is no better. It's treated like atheism. Why? Because systems protect themselves, not because they're right for the people, but because they're right for those in charge. It's all a circus. You hate communism so much in the West, yet in your land of the free, you've built a capitalism that bleeds the common man dry. The rich avoid taxes while the poor drown in them. Wages stay low, costs keep rising. So tell me, what kind of freedom is that? Your capitalism failed. It rigged the game for the elite, widened the gap, and now you're calling it democracy. But it's not. It's selective justice. It's class warfare dressed in suits. And let's not glorify the other side either. If a communist regime leaves its people starving while leaders live in luxury, then that system is a failure too. Oppression wears many faces. The only system worth fighting for is the one that serves the people, all people. A system where basic human needs are not sold as privileges. Food, shelter, clean water, energy. Where a man doesn't have to break his back for 6 days a week and still struggle to survive. Where buying a house isn't a 30-year prison sentence in disguise. This isn't progress. This is modern-day slavery with better branding. I'm not speaking from imagination. I was born and raised in democratic nations. I've lived the so-called freedom. I've watched governments pretend to serve while puppets dance in parliaments. Your democracy? It's George Orwell's Animal Farm. Go read that book and see if you still believe in the illusion. They sold us freedom, but handed us a script. You get to vote, sure, but only from a list they already wrote. The candidates are filtered, funded, and formatted long before you ever see their name. And even if one breaks through, even if a man or woman truly for the people rises, the system surrounds them. The party controls them, the donors pressure them, the media frames them. You're not choosing a leader, you're choosing a mascot, and the stadium is rigged. The Stoics believed that the health of a society depends on the virtue of its leaders, not their charm, popularity, or promises. Marcus Aurelius, a philosopher king, wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." But in today's democracies, we rarely elect the good, we elect the visible. The one with the sharpest slogan, the cleanest image, or the biggest sponsor. And this isn't speculation, it's marketing science. In 2012, Obama's campaign used behavioral data analytics through a team called Project Narwhal to micro-target voters with incredible precision. Since then, political campaigns have stopped being about policies and started becoming about psychological warfare. Data-driven influence down to your mood, your fears, your timing. This isn't the people's rule. It's psychological puppeteering. A system where those who understand the science of influence can control the crowd without ever serving them. Plato warned us of this 2,400 years ago. In the Republic, he described democracy as the stage before tyranny, where freedom becomes so excessive that people beg for order and a strong man takes the throne. Today, we are standing at that edge. This is not philosophy. This is pattern. The danger is not just in the leaders. It's in the culture we've created. A society obsessed with rights but allergic to duty. Everyone wants freedom, but no one wants responsibility. The Stoics taught that liberty without discipline is just another form of chaos. Epictetus said no man is free who is not master of himself. But look around. How many people are truly self-governed? How many citizens know the policies they vote for, or understand the consequences of the systems they defend? We've replaced civic virtue with viral opinions, real dialogue with retweets, elections with entertainment. This is the true weakness of modern democracy. It gives everyone a voice but never teaches them how to use it. The dance of democracy is not what it claims to be. It's no longer a noble dialogue between leaders and citizens. It's a carefully choreographed performance. The actors wear different colors: red, blue, left, right. But behind the curtain, the script rarely changes. Elections become rituals, not revolutions. Promises are made to win hearts, then broken to serve hands that feed. One side shouts about liberty, the other about equality, but both drink from the same well of power. And this dance continues, not because it works, but because it distracts. The music gets louder every time the system fails. Louder during crises, louder during scandals, louder when people begin to wake up. Bread and circus, debate and delay, a vote here, a protest there, just enough movement to make it look alive. But real progress? That's off stage. The dance is designed to go in circles, because the goal is not to move forward, it's to make sure no one ever leaves the theater. Democracy, as it stands today, is no longer a mirror of the people. It's a maze, a place where truth is twisted, where the powerful wear the mask of servants, and where the common man is handed a vote, not a voice. But even in this fog, not all hope is lost. Because the moment we stop treating democracy like a religion and start treating it like a responsibility, things can change. Systems are not sacred, people are. We must stop worshiping the structure and start questioning its architects. A better system isn't built by louder speeches, It's built by braver minds. Minds that don't just demand change, but define it. Because in the end, if the dance no longer serves the people, then maybe it's time to change the music.